You know, Captain Marvel is an extremely interesting film. It's a film that goes nowhere, yet, as you can obviously see while watching it, it's trying its best to actually go somewhere. Yet it feels as though it's in the middle, being tugged between like a tug of war, where it's in the middle of the rope and seems to never be able to get to either side. So, what is Captain Marvel trying to do, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, and what I think, why I think it fails? Well, for an analogy, I think that, in my personal opinion, Captain Marvel is trying to be a little too serious and a little too hardcore, and this can definitely be seen in regards to John Wick. But at the same time, the script isn't exactly the most serious and badassery, and rather is pretty cheap, boring, kind of cheesy schlock, as we would see in the scripts such as Tommy Wiseau's The Room. Now, there's a difference between this, and that is you can't combine The Room and John Wick. It's obvious. You can't combine them both. You can't combine The Room, and you can't combine it with John Wick. They're two totally different franchises, two totally different genres. And Captain Marvel, in my opinion, trying to do both at the same time, but in a superhero film, which, in my opinion, doesn't make any sense. On top of that, there is also a key component in it that makes it even worse. And I think that if they had simply stuck to either a cheesy version or a very serious badass version, then maybe it would have not failed. But of course, there's one key component in it, which of course both The Room and John Wick have, that I think Captain Marvel could never have had in regards to this, and that is of course the lead actor being a beloved person that almost no one hates. I don't know of one person who looks at Tommy Wiseau and goes, I despise that man. I can't think of one person who goes, I look at Keanu Reeves and go, I despise that man. Tommy Wiseau is known as a fan favorite. I mean, he goes to fan events, he loves them, he treats them as equals. He's like a dad. He treats you as family. And he's one of the nicest people you could ever meet. Same thing with Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is one of the nicest, chillest, most relaxed guys on the face of this planet. And he's very much so very likable, and I don't really know of any reason why anyone would slightly dislike him in any bit. I love Keanu Reeves. He's my favorite actor in Hollywood. And Tommy Wiseau, though I've been scared to look at any of his other films because I've heard that they're total garbage, while The Room is garbage in the sense that it's hilarious enough to be enjoyable, I think that Captain Marvel would never be able to hit the note right because it's Brie Larson, who is a very controversial actress within Hollywood. She's not universally loved, she's not universally hated, but she is strongly disliked by a lot and strongly loved by a lot. That, for sure, is certain. So, what is it that I think Captain Marvel could have done to make that film better and leaned one way or the other? And personally, I would have loved to seen a Captain Marvel The Room. I mean, that would be hilarious. Cheesy dialogue, cringeworthy acting, but from someone that we would all around hold dear and love and like Charlize Theron. Well, maybe she has a little bit of negative support. Okay, Lena Headey. Lena Headey, I don't know of anyone who's like, I despise Lena Headey. Maybe they hate her because her performance as Cersei in Game of Thrones is so iconic that they actually connect her to the character and therefore dislike her. But as an actress and as a person, I don't know of anyone who's like, I despise her soul. Like, I can't really think of anyone who's like that. And I think she would have been a fantastic one. So, same thing with Chloe Grace Moretz. I cannot think of a single person I've watched on YouTube or elsewhere that has stated, I hate Chloe Grace Moretz. She's an annoying piece of dog shit. Like, I can't think of anyone who actually says that or even thinks it. Of course, I can't know people's thoughts. Anyways, I think that Captain Marvel, if, of course, had an actress that is not controversial, and they followed either a path between The Room, cheesy schlock dialogue, and cringeworthy performances, or John Wick's more badassery tone and seriousness, then Captain Marvel would have been a far much more delightful film. On top of the fact that they remove all the PC culture, which of course, many people, such as myself, were tired of it. We're sick and tired of being preached to, as we all know. Because, I'm not going to go spend $15 for a superhero film in which I get preached to about how evil and terrible my race and gender is. Yeah, okay, I go and pay thousands of dollars at a college to do that. And the small amount of time that I have, I really don't want to have to go to a film and hear it too. I hear it all the time. Do these people really think they have like some great take on the universe? Oh, by the way, look at this. This is an idea that everyone has, and you can hear it everywhere on any news station or on any YouTube channel. Yeah, it's just I have a new twist and take on it. Really interesting, because from what I've heard, it sounds exactly like the same old shit that we hear every single day. And no, thank you. I'd rather not listen to that. And better yet, I would not like to pay for it. Anyways, John Wick and The Room are fantastic films. One is just fantastic because it's hilarious as crap, and because it's cringy, cheesy, and just all around hilarious. I mean, I watched The Room and I about die laughing because the quotes, the acting, all of it is superbly so bad that it's great. And I think that Captain Marvel is definitely, for most people, mediocre. And you don't want a mediocre film. You either want a film that's so bad it's good, or you want a fantastic film. And I think that Captain Marvel is stuck in between. It could have been one or the other. But Marvel decided to hit it right in the middle, and meh. Now, a lot of people, of course, are going to come out to us. They're going to attack us, you and I. People such as ourselves who do not like Captain Marvel, who think that it is a boring schlock piece of film. It's garbage. And they're going to attack us and tell us, oh, well, look at the box office. Look how great it's doing. Yeah, okay, you dumb bimbo. Let's also consider the time and place with which it comes out. The hype for Endgame is ridiculous, so everyone's like, oh, Captain Marvel's going to lead into Avengers Endgame, so we have to go watch this movie so we can understand it, because a lot of the movie-going audiences don't think about it. And, of course, if you were looking at the numbers, people in China do not like the film. They don't even talk about plot holes. They're openly admitting Brie Larson just isn't attractive. She's not a good fit. They even said she's not good for the role. China, the second biggest box office in the world. Yeah, Disney, you might want to take that into account and possibly recast Brie Larson. Because honestly, if you recasted Brie Larson as or Captain Marvel as a more likable actress, I can guarantee you that most of us who didn't go see Captain Marvel will probably go see it next time if you just keep down on the political agenda. If you remove it entirely and you give us a new actress who doesn't hate on white men and actually just wants people to go and have a fun time at the film, like every other Marvel movie, then guess what? You're going to make money because all the people who didn't want to go see it are going to go see it. And you might need that because next time you won't have an Avengers Endgame. You're going to have Thor and Iron Man and Captain America out of your movies, and no one's going to go see them. Because that's the only reason people go see your films. Some people are Team Thor, some people Team Captain America, some people Team Iron Man. I love Thor, but I am hardcore Team Iron Man. Love Tony Stark. I can't tell you how many times as a kid I rewatched Iron Man 1, one of my favorite MCU films. I'm a Team Iron Man guy. He's a very complicated character. I love him very much. And when he leaves, I can tell you right now, probably 80% of my interest, if not 90% of my interest in the MCU is going to be completely lost. Because I don't care. I go to see the films because I know that I might see Iron Man later. Or Iron Man might be in it, like with Spider-Man Homecoming. I went and saw it. Why? Because it had Iron Man in it. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, superhero of all time. But that's the Tobey Maguire versions and the Sam Raimi universe. I'm sorry. Those films are so deep and so emotionally impactful. I'm sorry. That's my version. And I've stated that many a time. But I'm saying it again because it's awesome. And, I mean, Tom Holland's fine. He's way better than Andrew Garfield. No hate towards Andrew Garfield. I love Andrew Garfield. I thought he was great in Hacksaw Ridge and also in Silence. He was fantastic in those two movies. But as Spider-Man, he wasn't very good. And Peter Parker, oh my God, he was horrible. They're like the complete opposite of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Tom Holland's okay, I guess, but, you know, it's obvious that there's been SJW NPC culture affected upon that movie, easily seen within the side cast, because it's all diversity. Why? I don't know. You know, you have to have it, because apparently if you don't have it, then all the diverse people of America aren't going to go see your film. which, if that's the case, then maybe you should really consider something's wrong with America. Anyways, I think that the Captain Marvel lost the opportunity to have been great, and they just, I mean, these two writers, I feel like the guy wanted more of a John Wick vibe. Actually, that's probably the opposite. The guy was probably like, hey, let's make it corny and funny and really stupid. And then the girl was like, no, we need a strong female woman. And so she tried to make it hardcore John Wick. And so these two screenwriters just made it dog shit because they're trying to make it two movies that it's not, in a genre where it's not supposed to be, and you just get Captain Marvel. And then on top of that, the whole, marketing campaign behind it, it's just, it's a nightmare. It's a total nightmare. And I'm pretty sure most of you would agree with me on that as well. Anyways, so tell me what you guys think about this thought that I had. It was just something that I came up with just as I was examining in my head all of what Captain Marvel was about and everything. And I think that that's really a good point in case, is that it feels like it is trapped between two genres or two films it wants to be, but it can't decide where it wants to go, and then it just decides to fall down and lay limp in the ground and not do anything because it needed to do something, and it felt like it didn't do anything. The screenplay's horrible, the acting's meh. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, and I know a lot of people agree. And some people, like Tyrone Magnus, has come out and stated that it is the worst MCU film of all time, and or so far. And I'm like, oh my god, wow, really? Okay, I would, being fair, I would say it's a meh. What I would like to say is, yes, of course, it's the worst one. I think it's the worst marketing campaign of all time, but, it's whatever. Anyways, so tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like the video, and as always, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and have a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope to catch you guys later.